Greetings, dear beautiful spirit soul that you are. It's a great morning here at the lake. We're kind of quiet because there's some people maybe camping out. The flowers are here, the freshness, being in the integrity of nature. I want to share with you today the topic, be cautious about suggestions. You see, because we're so receptive, and that a suggestion can also be turned into a command that you believe is true and real, and yet it isn't. And it's those suggestions that people get. That's why one of the keys is it's really important not to share all your problems with other people all the time. And if you had a really good counselor or spiritual therapist or practitioner or somebody who can work with you, they know that that's just a temporary situation that you're going through, and they help you to get the cause of the situation you don't want, and then also to how to move through it and get to the other side. But what happens when you're sharing all your problems with others, people want to give you their opinions of what you should do, how you should solve it, blah, blah, blah. But agreement creates reality. I not ran into him, but someone came up to me in the market the other day, and this is a person that every time he ever shares with me, he wants to tell me how he doesn't have any money, nothing's working, it's all bad for him and everything, but it's always the same story. And so he's always living in the same situation. So he came up the other day, my car blew up, and then I don't know how am I ever going to get, I said, you know what? I know you're going to handle it because you always do. And then I went on my way because there was no way to help this person. Because in fact, have you ever tried to help somebody, but they really don't want help, and in a very positive way, but also not to give suggestions. And this is how we get controlled, you might say, mentally with beliefs, is the people telling us things that we then start accepting as true and real. Just like another person was looking for a place to live and said, there aren't any places here. Well, for you, there aren't then. Because you close the door to possibilities because you think that's the absolute truth, when it's really might have been true yesterday, but it may not be true in this moment right now. Because a new house went on the market, a new situation came. So you want to be cautious about suggestion, and the word cautious also comes from cause. You want to look at the words and what you're really speaking. So you're causing something and making an effect. When you're cautious about suggestions, you can hear them, but don't get the belief that they know more than you, or they've got their solutions, or accepting this. And it's also very similar to commands. You can't do that. You never do anything right. There's no possibilities. Always accepting the verdict. Always accept, well, I guess they're right. And it's not. Wait a minute. You're an unlimited divine being in every aspect. And as we're always accepting all of these limitations and ideas and concepts, and then it becomes, in fact, one of my students who's a magnificent art therapist, and she comes to retreats quite often, and she's just doing great. And she was saying in the school that was training these therapists to get licensed, the teacher was telling all the students how you're not going to get a job. It's impossible. It's hard. And then my students stood up and said, I don't accept that, and I don't believe it. I think it's wonderful. And the teacher wouldn't pay any attention to her anymore because that teacher just is depressing. And years ago, I spoke for, it was a group of college students. And they were the hardest audience I ever had because they were jaded already. It was like they were really thought they were intellectually brilliant to tell you how limited they were and how nothing. And it was but there were the few bright lights that went ding, in the audience. So it was worth it because they knew what I was talking about. So be very cautious of the suggestions ideas, thoughts, concepts, beliefs that are being poured. And you do ask for it when you're telling everybody how bad it is and all your problems. So if you want to solve them, and that's what I do, is you go to someone or you read a book or whatever that is going to help you to know what's the cause of the problem and to eliminate it by doing what works. It's really simple. Stop doing what doesn't work and do what works. This is in every aspect of life. So to own your own power and such. Stop giving your power away to the suggestions of everybody else, and stop opening yourself to everybody's opinion. And when the opinion comes, or people are going to give it anyway, you don't even have to say, don't say that, don't do this. Just let it pass by. And when you let it pass by, you yes them in a way, but you do what feels right for you. And all things are possible. All is possible to you. So be, in a sense, suggestion-free. And you only seek basically your advice from someone maybe who knows how to do that, has done it before. But you also have to be cautious again, because many people who are attaining what you would like aren't going to tell you what they really did. Just like it used to be a woman with a great recipe, and you wanted it, would give it to you, but she would miss out some ingredients because she didn't want anybody to have the secret recipe. So you yourself, you have to stand strong in your own being. And yes, you can get ideas and such but don't make those a belief system that puts you in a reality box of limitation. And that's the real value of keeping your own counsel, or seeking someone who isn't judging you or isn't telling you what to do, but is there as a sounding board to help you realize the truth that always is, and then the problems disappear. And that's my work, and I love my work, because to really be there to empower people to let go of the limitations and suggestions they've been accepting for you don't know how long, and actually believing these suggestions are true and real when you're basically a blank slate. There's nothing there. You're full of knowledge. So know the truth that always is, keep your own counsel, and do your own work. And when you do that, then you become the master of yourself. That's the key.